JuliAnne Murphy here with LaPuraVidaCostaRica.com, expat living blog, and also courtesy of South Pacific Costa Rica Real Estate. Today is day 20 of our little mini-series, 30 Days of Expat Living in Costa Rica. And today we're talking about telephone or cellular connectivity when you move to Costa Rica, retire to Costa Rica, or even if you're just visiting Costa Rica for a set amount of time. Something that often happens when a new expat comes is they haven't really thought through this aspect of living in Costa Rica, and they arrive and expect that things are going to be the same as it is back home, wherever that is. So I'm just going to offer a few solutions, and this can actually apply again only if you're here for a short period of time, or if you're short period meaning more than a week or two, and also if you're kind of checking all aspects of Costa Rica out before you purchase, especially, which is important. So there's a number of different opportunities depending on where you're coming from. Your local carrier, cell phone carrier back in whether the States or Canada or Europe, may offer an international plan. A lot of people think, oh, this is going to be too expensive, so they never ask. But in fact, and 10 years ago, that was probably the case. In the last 2 to 3 years, I know specifically T-Mobile, and this is not a commercial for them, I just happened to use them when I'm back in the States. T-Mobile and I think AT&T are also providing or making accessible a Central American add-on, and sometimes it's just automatic depending on your rate plan. So you'll want to check that out, and you'll want to call whoever your carrier is before you come to Costa Rica and make sure you get that set up. It's a little more complicated for them if you arrive here. Well, it just will be more complicated for you, not for them, frankly. So T-Mobile, I know specifically, I believe AT&T, and I think that's not even with any additional cost, so check that out. If you're coming from another country like Panama or Nicaragua, certainly there are carriers that cover Central America as a whole or certain countries for the same rate plan, so check that out. Other ways, if you don't want to invest in a local number, cell number, first of all, it's quite easy to do that. However, you're going to need a phone. And buying a phone down here is going to be more expensive than definitely coming from the U.S. However, if you buy a cell phone from the U.S., you need to make sure it's unlocked. So if you're bringing your iPhone or whatever, if it's not unlocked, it's not going to work. So I think most people know that, but I'm surprised at how many people still don't know that. So if you're going to use a Tico number and you want to maintain your U.S. number while you're here, then you need to have a second phone or a phone that allows for 2 SIM cards, 2 of the little cards that go inside. For a prepaid card, I recommend Colby, which is spelled Kolbi. When you come into San Jose and probably also in Liberia International Airports here in Costa Rica, you can come out in the baggage area before you go through customs. You'll go through immigration, then the baggage. In baggage, while you're waiting for your bags, you can go all the way back to the right side before one of the currency exchange desks, and there's a Colby station there, and they can get you set up right away and do it for $30 to $50 for probably to cover the whole amount that you're here. Pardon my guard dog. And secondly, so that's an option for you as well, and very cost effective, and that's a prepaid. If you want to get a postpaid or a plan once you move to Costa Rica, you do have to have your cedula, or you have to do it in the name of someone who has a Costa Rica cedula, meaning a permanent residency. Obviously, that process often takes 1 to 2 years, depending on how you're getting your cedula or your residency, and that's a whole other topic. So obviously for new expats, not always an opportunity they can take advantage of. Some other ways to stay in touch with those back home. Grasshopper.com, just sounds like a little insect. Grasshopper.com provides numbers all over the world. You can get a Costa Rica local number and use it on your cell phone, or you can use it with their app. You can use it online. You can actually use that so people can text you. You'll get voice messages or a ding to the app on your phone or to your email that you've received a text or a voicemail, and that's something that we use and that works just quite well. Unfortunately, that's not a live option, and some people need that. Another thing that's very common and you must have if you're in Costa Rica or anywhere, frankly, in my mind as an expat all over the world, is WhatsApp, which sounds like what's up, but it's WHATSAPP. You can go to whatsapp.com and get all those details, but that's free international texting all over the world. And now voice calls and little voice notes as well, so that's a good one. I don't know how people would work, how it would function if you didn't use WhatsApp, frankly. So that's something that's new to many North Americans, but it's something that expats all over the world use daily. And then finally, what have I not covered? Skype. If Skype is great for calling people from your computer, iPad, smartphone, what have you, you can also get a Skype number and just add some dollars to that account, and that number can follow you wherever you go. You can also get a voicemail feature, so that's something you can do in a very cost-effective, affordable nature when you move to Costa Rica. And also, that's actually what I use to talk to family back home in the U.S. and abroad. We just catch each other on Skype, and boom, that's it. So there you go. That's cell phones and the like, sale plans, and what you need to do in terms of data and streaming and so forth when you're on the road here in Costa Rica, whether you're visiting long term or living here short term, or are a brand new expat and trying to figure out what the heck's going on. Hope that helps. More on expat living at lapuravitacostarica.com, and courtesy of South Pacific Costa Rica Real Estate, where you can find us online at Costa Rica Pacific Realestate.com. That's episode 20, over and out.